Hello guys, it is Eric here again. Um, let's hope that this video works. It's the third time I've rendered and uploaded it, because YouTube is broken. Alright, let's get into the video. Hello guys, it is Eric here again. Gonna be coming at you with a new video. Gonna do just a quick apology for I will try to cut all this out, but you'll probably hear a lot of background noise. It's Saturday night in a college dorm. People are screaming, running up and down the halls, just banging on doors. I don't know why. They're acting like children, and it's just, doesn't make the best recording environment. So I've locked myself in my room, so no one will come and bother me, hopefully. Yeah. So, in this video, I'm going to go over a couple things. One, how to display, like in the multiplayer menu, you need to use example client in order to join the server. I'll put up a screenshot, hopefully in editing, to show this, because I'm not doing a good way of describing this, but, like in the player slot, it's just going to be like, you need to use example client. And then I want to go over fixing crashes. So if you try to send a custom packet to someone who's not using an example client, they'll be disconnected from the server with a giant unfortunate error message because other clients don't know about our packets, so bad things happen when we send them our packets. And then I also want to go over detecting who is running example client and maybe kicking people who are not running example client and forcing everyone to use it. Or you could reward people for logging in with your client and send them a cool smiley face or something. I don't know. Well, that's up to you guys to figure out what you want to do with it. But yeah, alright. So we're going to first start off making a new Java project. Let's call it shared stuff. This is basically going to be mostly constants that are, or not all constants, that are shared between these two projects. So we're going to add it as another source folder. So I'm going to make a new package, call it example client.shared. Name it something, I'm going to make a class called multiplayer constant. And it's not supposed to be capitalized. In here is basically going to just kind of hold some constants that the client and the server, I did that backwards, client and server need to have. You could do it without this and just copy and paste classes between things, but I have found when I did that in the past, I got confused of which class was what and overwrote some stuff I didn't mean to, and it was chaotic, and this makes it a lot better, in my opinion. So what we're going to do is right-click on our project, go to Build Path, Link Source, and we are going to browse to our thing. So we're going to say Minecraft Client Tutorial, Clips, Shared Stuff, Source. You'll get this error message. It's already a source folder. We just have to name it something else. So let's call it Shared. We should see now that in our shared constants, and we can open this up as another file because it's acting like it's in this project. I'm going to do the same thing for the client. Say link source, browse. That's the right folder. Name it shared. Alright, now we can reference everything that is in this project in these projects. Okay. Now that we got that, I'm gonna first cover. Oh, it's building my workspace. Jolly. Okay. Gonna be first covering how to do the cool, like, you need to run example client when you ping the server. Unless you're running example client, then it won't say that. So what we're gonna need is a constant. We're gonna say public static final int, let's call it ping version. Now, you want to use a number, it can be any integer, but that's not like the 1.8 version number, which is 47, so, or you don't want to use like any of the Minecraft version numbers. I can put a list in the description numbers you don't want to use. But there's not too many of them. So I'm just going to make up a random number. Let's go with like negative 94408. Good enough. I'm going to use negative numbers. A negative number. Yeah. I'm going to use a negative number because no Minecraft version ping number thing they use is negative. So I'm guaranteed this is not a Minecraft version. Okay, that was like a weirdly long-winded way of doing that. Anywho, now what we're going to do is we're going to go into the server, and we're going to go into main, and in here, I'm going to do protocol, I cannot spell, protocol library, dot get, protocol manager, dot add, packet listener, new packet adapter. We're going to say this packet type dot status dot server info, not out server info, we just want server info. Let's import packet adapter, and then we're going to go one parenthesis over, do open brace like that. And then we're going to control space and override on packet sending. So now we can modify packets. So now what we're going to do is wrapped server ping, just call it ping equals event dot get packet, get packet dot get server pings dot read of 0, since there's only one of them. And we're going to say ping dot set protocol, what is it? Or set version, yeah. Set version protocol to be multiplayer constants dot ping version. And then I am also going to set the text to be set version name, which is going to be the text that appears. We're going to say example client, and then v, and then I want a version number, so I'm going to actually put a version number in here. Public static final int version, or client version. So this is going to be the oops. Now that I think about it, I'm going to make a new thing that's just going to be called like miscellaneous constants. And we'll put the version number, since it's not really technically a multiplayer thing. This is me getting all like super organized, yeah. Plus miss constants dot client version. You can put them in the same class, you can put them in here, it's fine. We just want that. So now what we'll do is let me export this as a plugin. And we want to select our plugin. Make sure both of our source folders are selected. And we're going to export it to the server. Now let me launch the server real quick. Go to desktop, what did I call it? Server. Open a command window. Java-jar spinit. Should have had this all set up. And should hopefully have no errors. Now let's start up the client. And I'm also going to start up the vanilla client as well. So I'm going to get two things in Minecraft running at once. You have example client and non-example client. You can hardly tell them apart. So we're going to go to multiplayer, and you should see both of them say server out of date. You must use example client 1.0.0. That's exactly what we want to say. So now that we got that, I'm going to quit both those. And now that we have that the issue we're going to run into now is this is, we're going to be used, like, example client needs to not display that because it's example client, and we're like, okay, the server is an example client server. We don't need to display that it's out of date. I'm not explaining this well. So let me close out of these. And we're going to go to source, net, Minecraft, what would it be under, what, client, GUI, I think it's server list entry normal is what it's called. Yes, okay, so this is when we did the featured server. Do you guys remember that? So what we want to do is right here, this is checking if the client version is 47 and the server version, the server version is 47. This means that the server's out of date. You can see right down here. If flag 2, it sets dark red plus the game version. If that client out of date, server out of date. So this is our client out of date flag, or server out of date flag, pretty much. What we want to do is say if this dot field, so we want our server data field dot version, which is just int equals multiplayer constants dot ping version. We'll say flag 2 is false, so it is not an out of date server. And what I want to do is I'm gonna draw another icon next to it. I want like a check mark. So let's go draw image X, Y. We'll make it lower, and then the texture. Let's go to server data featured and make a new one. And this is going to be called check and check. This is mainly just for me to verify that it's working. You guys don't have to do this if you don't want to. Server data featured. Technically, it's not supposed to be in there, but oh, no, check. I figured it's with the other icon that gets displayed, so I'll put it in the same place. So now I will put this image up for download. This check icon. Oh, it's just there. We want to go to source, Minecraft, assets, Minecraft, client name. Just put it in there right next to the star. Now, if everything goes right, we should see when we run the client that it no longer says that it's out of date. Oh, my web server's not up. Well, alright, we'll wait here for a minute while this initializes. If we go here now, it didn't even ping my server. There we go. We have a check mark now. And it doesn't say the server's out of date. And if I get a normal Minecraft client, the vanilla one, and we launch this right next to it, we should see that this one says it's out of date. This one says we can play on it. It's perfect. Got our little check mark and everything. Alright, so that's, you can tell I'm tired here. Now let's switch gears a little bit, and we want to do make it so we don't crash, pretty much. So if I try to join this, you see we get this bad packet ID 174, but if we're on here, it works fine. We want to fix this so they don't crash with bad packet ID. That's the next thing. So what we're going to do is let's minimize all that. We need to figure out if a client is example client or your client name. I shouldn't keep saying example client, I should say your client. We need to figure out if they are the client or not, and if they're a vanilla client. There are many different ways of doing this, but I've found that I kind of like this way, and it seems to work pretty reliably, so I'm going to go for it. I'm going to open up a new Chrome window, or any window, doesn't need to be Chrome, and I need a random list, or just a random string of a lot of characters. So I'm going to go to password, let's just Google password generator, here we go. It's not actually going to be a password, but let's make it like 128 characters, generate, cool. Alright, I just need a big string of characters. So, in shared stuff, we're going to go to multiplayer constants. We're going to say public static final string, we'll call it auth key, because it's like the key you need to authenticate, and say, hey, I'm client, woohoo, I'm not vanilla. We'll just paste that in there. This can basically literally be anything, but make it something that's, you know, pretty random that people can't just guess, because then that kind of ruins the point of it. So I'm just going to use some random characters. Type out a song here if you want, I don't know. Just make sure it's less than, like, don't go over, like, 200 characters. There's no point in that. I'm just sending enough data that is just pointless at that point. So what we're going to do now is in the client, we want to say, we want to basically append this with a null byte to the handshake that happens. So we're going to go to Gui Connecting, which is somewhere in here. Am I just blind? Hello? Why can't I see this? Okay, let's just go to GUI multiplayer for a minute. And we can find connecting here. GUI connecting. Oh, it's client. See, it's in multiplayer. There's a GUI in here. Okay, that's just weird. Here you go, GUI connecting. I'll make this bigger so you can see. So this is the handshake packet, and in it has an IP and port that servers can read, but they don't actually use. You're limited to 255 characters for this, so I'm only going with 128 characters, but it's kind of interesting. You can see there's no even getter for these. You're just private things of data that get sent. So what we're going to do is a plus and append to that with a null byte. So /0 plus multiplayer constants dot the R key. So now when we connect to the server, we can listen for the handshake packet and break it a null byte, and then figure out if the auth key is correct, and allow them onto the server. That's kind of how we're going to figure it out. There's other ways of doing this, but this is the way I'm going to do it. So if you have other ways, feel free to do them, but I'm doing it this way. Now we need to go back to the server. And in our server, we're going to have a couple things. So we want to figure out when they log in, because the join packet is too late here. So we're going to do at event handler public void on player login on login player log. What is it? Player login event. That's what I want. So we're gonna do string. I guess it's a host name. Yeah, that's kind of technically what it is. Is e.get host name, and we want to split it. By a colon, because we don't care about the port number. So then we're going to get the IP. So the host name is IP colon port. So we're going to split it by the port, get the IP, which is the 0th argument, and then we're going to split again by null byte. And so hopefully now we have what we're looking for. So we're going to say if host name. Actually, it's a host name parts, really. It's like parts of the host name. Dot length. So if it's 2, so if our host name part length is 2, we want to check argument 1 of it, and so we're going to say if host name, should actually type while saying out loud, if the second argument equals multiplayer constants dot off key. We want to delay 2 ticks later, so we're going to say new bucket runnable. Run task later this 2. Because you're technically like not in the world and weird things can happen, so delaying 2 ticks seems to fix everything. What's in the player message? Chat color, that's how you do it? Yeah, let's go yellow. Plus, thank you for using example client. Woohoo. Sounds so enthusiastic there, you know. So that'd be kind of fun. We also want to keep track, though, if, like, who is using it. We need, like, a list. So, up here, we're, I'm actually going to make this bigger for you guys. So we're going to say, let's do a private, let's do a list of UUID, which is going to be people using client, equals new array list of UUIDs, import that, Java util list, perfect. So we want to put people using client.add e.getPlayer.get unique ID. And then in here, let's send them the hello world packet. And let's remove that from onJoin. So we'll add them, and we need to say e.getPlayer for the player. Then I also want a get people using client, which is going to be a list, and I also need an instance of my plugin, so it's private static main instance. Instance equals this. We want to get instance. Perfect. The other thing I want to do is when a player disconnects, we can remove them from the list. So we want at event handler public void on player quit event. I can't spell. Then we're going to say if people using client, or no, we actually want their UID. UID equals e.getPlayer.get unique ID. If people using clients dot contains their UID, people using client dot remove UID. No use to keep their UIDs around if they're not playing on the server. Like, that's just, there's no point in that. And if you have, thousands of players logging in, that list could get pretty big, depending if they're all using the client or not. So there's that. What I'm also going to do is say, I'm going to make another Boolean over here. Boolean is using client equals false. And in here, we're going to say is using client is true. And, oh, yeah. So I'm not actually going to do that in the bucket runnable. Let's do that outside. Oh, there's capital L here. No. Is using client is true. Outside this, we're going to say if we're not is using client. E dot. Let's disallow them with result dot kick. probably just kick other. Then the message chat color dot red. You need to use example client to connect. Download at example client.tk. I don't know. Replace with some other nice message. If you don't want to kick people, don't include this. It is up to you if you would like to do that. Now we need to add in a safety check to the packet manager. And now I wrote down here to do, make sure client is example client before sending them a packet. It's exactly what we're going to implement right now. So we're going to say if main dot get instance dot get people using client dot contains player dot get unique ID. So we're going to negate this with an exclamation point. So if they're not using our client, we're going to just return. And what I'm going to do is main.getInstance.getLogger. Let's throw a warning out into the console saying, I don't know, trying to send a packet to player.getName. And they are not running the client. And let's just paste in packet.getClass.getSimpleName. So this is mainly just to let you know that you are not checking for a packet before the player before sending, and you kind of should always check. But this is like the fallback in case you forget kind of thing, and we'll just kind of warn you in the console. Or you can use this as your check and just remove the warning. That's completely up to you. But we should be able to put this on the server now. So example client plugin. Now always remember to stop the server. Don't reload it. Talking to you, Xbox. No, make sure to reload, or jeez, make sure to restart the server and don't reload. It'll break things. But let me pull up example client, and I'll pull up the vanilla client right here. So once it boots, we should see so if we join the server, should see, thank you for using example client. It knows we are using the client. And if we try to go here, you need example client to connect, download at there. So yeah, that's it for this tutorial. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you at some other point in time with a new video. See ya.